Hey guys, it's Britt. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. Today I'm sharing with you a little Q&A on our pregnancy. I'm currently 5 months pregnant and I want to take you guys on this journey. So I asked you guys some commonly asked questions I'm going to answer, but I also made this delicious sandwich, which you guys are not going to miss the recipe. It's so simple and easy with a whole food plant-based mayonnaise, and it's just the perfect sandwich in my opinion. The dough is sourdough and we make it, it's so beautiful. I'm going to post a couple photos of it on the screen, but I love having it and I'm just so proud of how beautiful it turned out. But the recipe is in our membership. If you'd like to join our membership, we would love to have you. There's around 40 exclusive recipes, cooking classes, and more, and you help support the channel and what we do here over on our page. So if you want to check out being a supportive member, it's only $10. Check that out down below. The sourdough recipe and sourdough starter is worth it alone, I promise. But stay tuned to see how we do all this and learn about how our pregnancy's been going. For this part of the video, I asked over on Instagram and Facebook a couple questions that you guys might have about how it's going, being about 5 months pregnant now. And so I wrote down a lot of questions that we're going to answer in this video. I am in the second trimester with our first child, and yeah, I just wanted to go through and kind of share this experience with you guys. As we move forward with the channel, it's all going to be recipes, but I'd love to incorporate like recipes for our little one, recipes while I'm breastfeeding, recipes for, you know, our growing family. So I always wanted to have this channel be about family because if you guys have heard my why story, really my own family really being kind of destroyed by lifestyle diseases and really ill health really propelled me into starting to be whole food plant-based and find this lifestyle. And so my goal was to raise my family as healthy as possible and really to enrich them in this lifestyle. And so that's why I named it the Jaroudi Family. So I'm excited that eventually I will not be the only Jaroudi that you see on this channel as well. So that's really exciting. But we'll go through some of the questions you guys asked, and yeah, I'm excited to get into this. The first question was, how did I find out we were pregnant? So I am one of those people that are very in tune with my body. So I found out pretty early, even so much that the very beginning of September, I was asked to do a speaking event and present at Ethos Farm Days. And I gave a cooking talk and did a whole bunch of things for them for the weekend. And I actually was pregnant at the time and I didn't know it yet, but I had a lot of symptoms like I noticed my boobs were larger than normal. I kind of thought it was my period coming up, and just some other things that just were like kind of not in the normal range of, oh, that's a little different. And so I had kind of an inkling. I actually took a pregnancy test around that time and it came back negative. And then a week later I took another one and that one came back positive. So very early on we found out. I told my husband around his birthday, so that was really special and just really a nice time to surprise him, like with his birthday gifts, to tell him that we were pregnant with our first baby. So yeah, but I'm also always been really in tune with my body, so that was really an advantage to finding out early. Were we planning to have a baby? That was the next question. So I am a little bit of an older mom. I'm 33 and I will give birth at 33 too. And my husband and I have been together forever. We started dating when I was 15 and he was 16. So we've dated super long time. And then we've also been married a really long time. So we've been married, this upcoming August will be 10 years we've been married. So I get a lot of questions on like, did we have difficulty because we've been together so long and we're 33 having our first child. And to be honest, it's such a multifactorial reason of why we waited to try to have kids till I was this age. For some of you guys that know a lot about my story, if you go back and listen to a podcast, I talk about some mental health things I went on, and then finding this lifestyle and some of those issues, all those issues really resolving. And so that was really the start of our marriage. And then, figuring out this lifestyle, losing 70 pounds, getting healthy. But then at the same time, my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer, and it progressed over, a good portion of the beginning of our marriage to stage 4. And around the age of 28, my husband and I were really serious about starting our family. Lots of conversations were had, but my mom also was stage 4 and declining. So we kind of I had to make the decision if I wanted to be pregnant, going through that and potentially giving birth while my mom was really being sick, or did I want to really focus on being her caregiver, which I was pretty much her primary caregiver. And so I made the decision to wait. We both decided to wait, which was hard because my mom was a labor and delivery nurse. She had done that pretty much her whole career. So babies and her, this would have been, she didn't have any grandchildren at the time. So, it was a very difficult decision to decide to wait to have kids, put it kind of on the back burner and focus on my mom. So we kind of waited. And then after my mom passed, I wanted to give myself enough time to grieve and to really just take that time for myself. So then we bought the house and moved and different things. So we really decided that this was 33 was the year we were going to start. Now, I did not realize that our first try, we were going to end up pregnant, which is a wonderful thing. We feel so lucky that it happened right away. I thought maybe it would happen right away. I've always been pretty regular with my cycle from the time I got it. But my husband thought it was going to take many, many months. And it was both to our surprise that literally the first try, we were pregnant. So it all worked out. But, some people might think it was maybe us trying and having difficulties. It wasn't. It really was just a conscious decision to wait a little bit longer till we were in a spot. But we were so excited to be parents, and it's something that we have both always wanted and knew, at some way, somehow, if it was, depending on, if we waited and had trouble, we were, adoption definitely was an option too. But we just knew at some point we were definitely going to be parents, and really excited to have that journey happen on, very lucky to have it happen on the first go. Another question was, do we know the sex of the baby? We do know the sex of the baby, and I will be sharing that with you guys very soon. Probably the next baby video. I'll make a recipe and we'll put it in there somehow to tell you if it's a girl or a boy. Another question was, do we have the name picked? Yes. We picked a family name, and we actually had this picked for pretty much 10 years. We had a boy and a girl name picked, and once we got pregnant, I looked at my husband and said, do you still like the name? Because we have talked about it a whole bunch, and actually my mom knew the name too, because we shared that with her before we passed about what if we had a boy or a girl, what we would name them. And so it's really special that she actually got to know the name that we're still going to use. And so we're picked that out a long time ago. So yes, we have the name. We're still sticking with it and love it. And I will be sharing that too with you guys in the future once we tell you the sex. What is something that surprised me about being pregnant or this experience? A whole bunch of things. Getting pregnant right away was definitely a surprise. Other things were just, I feel like every week is a little different. And so I tend to thought about pregnancy just by the trimesters, but really week to week, things are changing and growing, and, symptoms and different things can kind of happen. So I think looking at it more of bi-weekly or even sometimes day to day has really been surprising. And yeah, I don't know, just really have been enjoying this whole experience, and there have been many surprises, and I'm sure there will be to come once the baby is here too. How did the first trimester go? The first trimester for me, I think, there are people out there that have it way worse for symptoms, so I never want to, I'm very lucky to experience this all and to go through this, and I think everything so far has been really, really great, just I think partly for my lifestyle. But the first trimester, I mean, some things were surprising and happened, morning sickness was really all day sickness. I got lucky and wasn't, stuck to the bathroom every second of the day, but I definitely had nausea all day long, off and on, for pretty much weeks 4 to week 12, 13. And it was, it's not a fun thing to go through, being nauseous all day, and a lot of food aversions too the first trimester. That was surprising. Before being pregnant, I loved big chopped salads, literally ate them every single day with hummus, and you could have not put anything green anywhere near me in the first trimester. It just made my stomach turn, and I mean, there was ways I snuck in greens here and there, but it was I was not doing big chopped salads first trimester. Thankfully, the food aversions had lifted similar to the time, roughly a week or so after the all-day morning sickness went away. But other than that, I think just food aversions and not having nausea, pretty much from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, were really the two main symptoms, and tiredness, but all those things are normal. And again, people have it way worse. So I was very thankful that I made it through. And I was just very much focused on just enjoying this stage and making it week to week with our baby. Next question was, will you raise the baby whole food plant-based? Yes. So it's so important to me that I really regained my health by doing this, and I've been doing this for pretty much 8 years now. And so I've had a whole food plant-based, before I was pregnant, while I'm pregnant, after I'm pregnant. I'm planning on raising our baby this way. There has been no other even thought to do anything else. So definitely have a lot of great resources, a lot of great books and different things by wonderful people like Brenda Davis and Dr. Marvis and Dr. Greger and lots of other people in the plant-based world, and Dr. Furman, and so lots of resources out there, and I'm hoping to hopefully add to that resource for people doing this, because pregnancy and raising kids whole food plant-based isn't something that I've seen a lot of things besides those resources that I mentioned. So I'm just excited to kind of share what we're going to do and what's best for our child. Next question was, how many kids do we want? So I've always kind of envisioned 2. I came from a family of 2. My husband is one of 7. Definitely did not think of 7 ever. But I think, I don't know, we're going to go with 1 and see how everything goes. And I am a little bit, and people have babies, much, much older. I just got it under the geriatric pregnancy, so technically I'm not that yet. But we'll see, I'm saying 2 now, but we just want, healthy, happy babies, and we'll see where it takes us. So we're open to having 1 or 2 or however many we're given. What supplements do you take? So I take 2 supplements right now, and I've actually taken them before we got pregnant. I've been taking, just anytime you're in the childbearing age and there's a possibility, it's a good idea to start supplementing with a prenatal before. And so I had been taking Garden of Life prenatal. I still take it and enjoy it, and it's fine. And so I take that one, I'll post a photo, and then I take Dr. Furman's omega-3s droppers as well. So those are the two I do. Other things that aren't really a supplement, but I always try to get in is like chia seeds. I try to get in flax seeds, hemp seeds, different things like that as well. You know, if I can remember daily. So those are kind of more like supplement foodish items too. But so far so good. And the question was, have I started the nursery yet? We are just in the beginning phases. Once we found out the sex and kind of could foresee the theme, we have picked colors and different things to paint our nursery, and so that's going to be really exciting in the next couple weeks to start doing that. But yes, we have kind of gently started it. And then second to last question, how is the second trimester going? It has been going better than the first. All of that food aversion is really gone. All of the nausea, thankfully, is gone. And so now it's just, you know, developing a stomach now, my little belly, my baby bump, and just trying to like still get in exercise, trying to, now that my food aversions are gone, making sure I eat a lot of delicious variety of foods that I love, and just really again enjoying this time, enjoying feeling really good. I haven't had any, like I haven't had acid reflux, I haven't had anything else really out of the normal, again, besides just really kind of being out of breath a little easier and growing a belly. Those really are the two things. Maybe being still slightly tired than normal, but feeling really better than the first, having more energy than the first trimester. So all in all, I feel very lucky that everything has been going pretty smoothly. Another question I got asked, I forgot to write it down, was how do my doctors feel about us being whole food, plant-based, vegan, all the things? And it has not been a concern. I am going through the regular channels of having a hospital birth. And so with our practice, there's like 8 different doctors that you see. Each time you go, you usually get a different person. And, you know, my blood work came back fine. Nothing was out of the normal. There wasn't anything like deficient or anything. So there hasn't been a concern, and nutrition, you know, as you guys know, nutrition sometimes isn't really even talked about. So I'm just like doing my best, obviously, to fill my body with delicious, healthy foods, and those, you know, resources from Brenda Davis and lots of other physicians and dietitians in the plant-based community recommending different things for making sure you get in, and that's been wonderful. So again, hasn't really come up in conversation. So far, so good. But that's what we're doing. And so if you guys have any more questions or you guys want to see more videos like this, I'm happy to do this. We're going to call this like my first/second trimester video. Maybe I'll make a second/third trimester one, and we can do this Q&A again. But everything has been going really well. We're just really thankful and blessed to be kind of in this stage of our life and this new adventure. And I'm excited to share you guys along with us on the ride. So this video, of course, has a recipe. So I'm gonna pull out everything for the recipe now. We're gonna make, everyone asked me like what specifically my craving was. And to be honest, I don't really have any cravings. There hasn't really been anything. Like my family members have asked me what my craving is, and like there hasn't been anything that like I have like made Mark go to the store and grab. I like need it at that exact moment. I'm gonna perish without it, you know, nothing like dramatic like that. There's something I'm gonna make for you guys today that I've eaten kind of through the first trimester. It sounded better than most things, and it's still something that like I really enjoy. So we're gonna call it my craving, but I haven't really had anything that I like need or anything weird, which I think sometimes can be a good sign, because I've read different things about if you're deficient in something, sometimes that's what your body craves. So I mean, it's just been all normal, but this sandwich that I'm gonna make for you guys today has been a go-to. So we're just gonna we can call it my craving. It's my favorite. So we're gonna make my lettuce, tomato, and we're gonna use a whole food plant-based vegan mayo that we're gonna make today on some sourdough bread. It's delicious. So you can use the whole food plant-based mayo recipe for anything that you need a mayo replacement. So if you want to make like an tofu salad, or if you love to have it on a sandwich like I do, different things like that, you can kind of keep it in the back of your mind. If you need a mayonnaise replacement that's whole food plant-based and healthy, this is the one to make. It's delicious. And again, I love it. I have been eating a little bit more like bread than before being pregnant. Just kind of enjoying that. And I make our own sourdough bread, so that's been really fun. And I'll post a picture on the screen. This is our isn't it beautiful? It's such a beautiful loaf. I'm so proud of it. And so we came out with this in our membership. So if you want the recipe for the sourdough bread, join the membership today. If you're watching around when this video comes out, this recipe is still inside it with 39 other recipes. And I literally make it. We have a loaf at all times here because I love it for this sandwich and just other things. Really enjoying it. It's literally the best bread. So let me go pull everything out. I will see you guys back here in a second. And this was really fun. Again, if you have any questions, you also can leave them in the comments of this video. I'm happy to answer them. Because I am feeling more energized, I'm back to making new videos now that the holidays are kind of passing us. And I'm really excited for all that 2024 will bring. So I'll see you guys back here in a second. Let's make my favorite sandwich with the whole food plant-based mayo. So you're gonna need a high-speed blender, and this is such an easy recipe. We just always store it in a container. It lasts for around like 6 to 7 days in the refrigerator. We tend to use it up pretty quickly when I make it, so I like to make it for lots of different recipes. A little bit goes a long way, and it makes delicious tomato lettuce sandwiches as well. So we're gonna use a 16-ounce container of silken tofu. That's really important to make sure it's silken. We just find it in the regular grocery store, don't have to go anywhere fancy. So I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna put the whole thing into our blender, no need to drain. So you can just kind of slice it. The little bit of liquid that's inside the packaging also helps everything really blend well. So again, I just keep the whole package. There's not that much liquid in silken because it's a pretty soft tofu, but we just add the whole thing in. And then the rest of our ingredients really is to flavor it. That's the thickener of choice. And so I have 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Are gonna go in. I also have a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then I have 2 teaspoons of white miso paste, which is our salt substitute. It also adds a little bit of flavor to this as well. And that is mainly it. Now, some options to make this a little bit zhuzhed up, I like to say, is sometimes I like to add some pure horseradish to this recipe for a little kick. Or I like to add one of our homemade mustards. So if you missed, we had a video above about how to make an SOS-free homemade mustard. So sometimes I'll add stone ground or Dijon that we make to this recipe as well. Again, a little bit of a kick depending on what I'm in the mood for. But this right here is just like a plain great mayonnaise replacement that we love. Put your lid on and blend until it's nice and smooth. Now, usually I like to make this ahead of time, and if you put it in the fridge, it kind of becomes even thicker as it sits. And I also like to have this cold. So usually when I make this, I'm not putting it on my sandwich right away. I'm doing it ahead of time, maybe an hour or so before. But I love it. If you want to make it thicker right away, some other alternatives too is you could always add some cooked white beans to this, or even some cashews or sunflower seeds to thicken it a little bit more. And it's also a great source of like getting in some extra protein, doing those extra add-ins on top of the silken tofu as well. But it thickens up beautifully. You can kind of see it's kind of thinner now, but it thickens as it sits. It's just a great recipe. You can also taste it as it comes out. So if you want to add in, if you want it to be a little bit more garlicky or whatever your preference is, again, horseradish, Dijon, all that's delicious. You guys have it. So this guy goes into a jar. We love these little mason jar lids. Makes the perfect size for the amount. And again, we just put this in the refrigerator. It lasts for anywhere from 5 to 7 days, depending. Make sure it's cold. And it's just so good. It thickens up. Beautiful. But to show you guys, we're going to use it right away for today. My craving of choice has been this beautiful sourdough bread that we slice. I try to slice it on the thinner side when we get pieces, and I love to pop 2 pieces of this sourdough bread into our oven cold and then let it reach 350, and it ends up toasting the one side, which I really like. So I put the toasted side down. You can make your sandwich, lots of different ways. Add all the filling, and then the beautiful brown side you get to see whenever you cut into it. So again, this is really easy. I just make this whenever I'm in the mood for a great sandwich. I like to add the whole food plant-based mayo replacement to the one side. Kind of spread that out. You can be as liberal as you want. Sometimes too, what I like to do is I like to cook up some tofu and add tofu slices or tempeh slices. Not necessarily to be like the BLT of it, but just to add a little bit of extra fillingness to this recipe. I've done that before in the past. We're just keeping it really simple today to show you. Because I really think that this mayo recipe is kind of the star of what you guys are going to remember. All right, let me throw that in there. And then after I get that on, and especially once it's thick, it's really nice to spread. I like to take a very ripe tomato and just cut up some slices for it. I could eat tomatoes like apples anytime, being pregnant or not. I like to do like thinner slices for this sandwich. Usually 2 to 3 does it, and then I just end up eating the bottom part while I'm like preparing our sandwich. So you can add those on, like beautiful tomatoes. This sandwich also is not the neatest to eat, so just saying, I like to eat this, but it definitely becomes a little bit messy with the tomato and the mayo. And then sometimes I like to do romaine. Romaine is a nice crunchy green, but again, trying to get in more variety of greens, I usually just buy like a baby spring mix that has lots of different things. So there's spinach, arugula, some other greens in here. And to pack a lot on, I rinse and wash them, and then I like to scrunch them in my hands to make it smaller and kind of make them distribute a little easier. And you can pile on as much as you want, for this recipe. And then you just want to flip it over and cut it. But just a really easy, like delicious sandwich. If you love sandwiches, this one's definitely one to try. Again, the sourdough recipe came from our membership. It'll come out probably in a year or so to our channel, but you can get it if you sign up for our membership today with lots of other exclusive recipes. And the mayo is so great. We love fresh tomatoes here. It's just like my perfect sandwich in the summer or when it's December, January. And I like to give it a nice little like flip. I'll flip it on the other side. And then a little pat down. And then I always like to cut them. I feel like sandwiches are better when they're cut. Maybe that's the mom and me prepping for the sandwiches I'm gonna make. But you can hear how crunchy that sourdough is toasted. And oh my gosh, it's just so good. So I'm gonna go enjoy this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want more like pregnancy videos or specifically like what I eat in a day when I'm pregnant, if you want more like Q&A questions, anything, if you guys want to be updated and involved in this pregnancy, just leave us a comment, let me know. I definitely am focused on making recipes for you guys throughout all of them. So don't worry, there's tons of that coming out in 2024. But I hope you guys getting to know a little bit more about us and our journey and you know, you're all part of the family, so we want you guys to be involved. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Bye, guys. Enjoy, make your sandwiches, and let me know how you like the mayo, and make sure to share it with me. Bye.